Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host, Mohammed Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Zhe L. Scott. Zhe is the CEO of a digital marketing agency, the SEO Queen, author, and a podcast host. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Zhe L. Scott. Welcome, Zhe.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Siddique.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with our audience today. Let me get started with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to start your own digital marketing agency?
Well, when I graduated from MIT, I was raised in a household where my father was told by his grandmother to go into the computer industry. So I was a toddler sitting on my father's lap when he graduated with his computer science degree. So I basically grew up in a home of technology. And as a result, I went to MIT. I was accepted to MIT. And after graduating from MIT, I worked for a few agencies, grew one agency from $0 to $500,000 in recurring revenue. And I wasn't happy with my compensation, so I decided to strike out on my own.
Wonderful. You are not happy. That's the turning point. You were not happy with the compensation, so you started on your own. That's amazing transformation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there has to be some pain. So you are glad you were not happy with the compensation, huh?
I was not happy with the compensation. And the thing that is so incredible, like just before we got on this call, I was talking to one of my team members who, because I have a transnational team, and he worked with me during that time. So it's like my career I've picked up my team along the way. It's been an awesome journey.
Yeah. No, this is good. This is good. So, how many years you have been in this journey on owning agency?
I built my first website in 1996.
Now you are timing yourself, okay?
I know, I'm telling on myself, but I think I look good for my age.
I didn't say a word. I didn't say no. You're timing yourself, okay? So
yeah, but man, I remember in grade school when I was the first kid to submit a paper that was printed. I had a dot matrix printer in elementary school.
Yeah.
And, the teacher said everybody has to turn in a handwritten paper. But to get back to your question, basically, like I built my first website in 1996 when I graduated from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology with 2 degrees, one in management science and one in music. I worked my first job for Fortune 500 company Raytheon, and I was a web applications developer, hooking databases into websites using SQL and HTML. And, for a time, I went and I got my master's degree in public policy. And I worked a few jobs here and there, went through a nasty divorce, but eventually I ended up at an agency that I grew, and I walked away from it to strike out on my own. And here I am today.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Zhe, based on your hell lot of experience, I would say, there are so many mistakes to avoid. So what are the top 3 missteps to avoid when you are managing your agency?
That's a good question because I'm learning so much right now. One of the mistakes that I see being made is trying to grow too fast. Quality assurance, QA, that is so important. Integrity and quality assurance is so important. And I think a mistake that a lot of businesses make is not paying attention to QA. It's like a lot of businesses want to scale so fast and so much that they sacrifice the very thing that will give them the longevity that they seek.
Yeah.
Second mistake, not thinking things through all the way. There's no cutting corners in business. Absolutely no There is simply no shortcuts. You have to do the work. And then finally, giving up on tactics too soon. I guess, actually, let me change that third one. Not using data effectively. Because that kind of folds in under that, It takes determination, perseverance to be a successful business leader. Mm-hmm. You are a leader because you are stewarding resources, your time, your intellectual capital, your staff's intellectual capital. And if you don't invest in their purpose and their intellectual capital, your team is not going to be solid.
Yeah. Oh, this is great. That leads me, you're presenting yourself very, very authentic, Z, very authentic. You're giving the real meat, what not to do. So that leads me to my follow-up question because you mentioned, you signaled one of them. I don't think so you want to mention that one much. What's your single most professional failure you had while running this agency? And what did you learn from it? And how did you recover from it? And what did you learn from that?
Oh man. Whew. My biggest failure. I think the biggest failure I did is not building an email list. I neglected some very foundational things to grow my company. Now, if I would have built an email list and been diligent about it from like the very beginning, I'd be so much more further along. So I would say to any business owner, any solopreneur, entrepreneur, CEO, I would urge you, do not neglect email. Do not neglect your SEO. Recently, I read a statistic that only 30% of businesses have a SEO strategy. Mm-hmm. From all the, I've talked to thousands of business owners. I've had my hands in over 300 digital marketing campaigns. And one thing that I saw consistently was the fact that each niche that I have dealt with wasn't as competitive as the business owner thought. Mm-hmm. And now the data as of 2020 has come out that only 30% of businesses have an SEO strategy. So this is information to be excited about. And, I would say my biggest failure is just not moving fast enough, mm-hmm. consistently enough, and effectively enough from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so because you are the SEO queen, I have to ask some questions to kind of challenge you on your knowledge. I really meant to you. I want to know what's the latest happening in this SEO. SEO has changed so much when we have the audio, like Alexa, hey Alexa, do this. Hey Google, do this.
Right.
It's not a keyword based anymore. It's like almost like a conversation
based. SEO is entity based.
Okay.
Right.
So how that business has your professional work has changed from this? People don't type anything anymore. Very little. They are driving. They just say, "Hey, do this."
Right.
And Google is telling them, Apple is telling them, Alexa is telling them everything. So how you are SEO that thing with the
Well, I'm so glad you asked me that question too, because I was talking to my boyfriend about 2 or 3 months ago. We were sitting in the car in front of my house and we were talking, and I was telling him how upset I was about this other entrepreneur using my hashtag, the SEO Queen. And so I said, let's record a video. So I asked Siri, who is the SEO Queen? Mm-hmm. And when I asked Siri, I recorded what Siri had to say, and she basically said the SEO Queen is me. Okay. And what I got from that was, I've claimed my Google My Business. I've optimized my website. My website is over 100 pages long. I'm in the process of adding a knowledge base, a corporate social responsibility policy. I'm just basically building the infrastructure of a website that gives tremendous value.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think that's the bottom line. When you as a brand want to be recognized in voice search, you need to dot your I's, cross your T's with Google. You have to claim your Google My Business. You have to get your Google Analytics, your Google Webmaster Tools or Search Console. You need to configure all of these and consistently put out tons of content. About 60% of businesses who blog get 64% more traffic to their website. They get 400 and something percent more backlinks, and they get so much more free traffic from the internet. When you ask consumers, business owners, what search results that they trust more, the majority trust organic results over ads, over embedded ads. So this is the issue of credibility, and you get definitely more visibility with SEO, and you for sure get more profitability when you really do that. So yeah.
Wonderful. That's good. So Zhe Scott is the SEO queen. Okay, so you passed my test. I asked you this question is a very relevant one. And of course, this content will give you in a Google video, the YouTube
Absolutely.
more SEO relevance to your name anyway, because I attach the both things together, your name and
absolutely.
Yeah. So let's switch the sides let's talk about your success secrets. So what are your top 3 success secrets, at least as per your own experience, you claim to yourself?
Always be learning, getting a coach, always reach out to someone who knows more than you, that's better than you at whatever it is that you're trying to improve in. And then finally, I keep God first in my life. I know there's people who have a different belief system. I really think faith, regardless of what you believe, is critical to have in your life. Being able to connect to something bigger than you and your circumstances helps you to have a positive perspective, even in the face of adversity.
Wonderful. Any bonus tip you like to share?
Bonus steps?
Yeah, anything as a bonus?
Yeah, so I would say the 4th step to success in business is having an SEO strategy.
Yeah, okay, wonderful.
And implementing it.
And implementing it, yeah. Just learning is not enough. You have to execute,
Yeah,
So
execution is key.
how the growth hacking show community can support you?
Well, I have a conference coming up on July 29th, 30th, and 31st. And this conference is called the Reach More Clients Power Conference. And it's going to be covering SEO, mindset, and so much more. It's going to be phenomenal. One of my speakers grew a Facebook group from 0 members to 1.8 million members in less than 6 months. I think it was like 6 to 8 months, less than a year. And so he's going to be on the program. I have another woman, Annika Jackson. She is a PR master. One of her clients just released a new song. The song went viral and was featured on Ellen DeGeneres' platform. So I have a lot of really great business leaders, great minds. And of course, I'm going to be speaking and I'm going to be doing hot seats. So I'm going to be optimizing people's websites live on the stage at the conference, and the conference is 100% virtual.
Wonderful. That's good. So who should be attending that one? Who's the ideal person that conference is geared to? Who should be attending?
Entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, seasoned professionals, chief marketing officers, just the whole gambit. I'm going to have speakers that can help bring value to all of those audiences. But the common thread amongst all of them is that they see marketing as a very critical business functionality.
So if you're watching this and you probably watching this live or recorded, or somebody just send you the link, hey, check this out, or you say, what is this? Let me tell you this part. If you had even a remote intention to grow your business, even for a 1%, check the more clients and revenue.com. That's very, very important, because in this time of the where we are living right now, you need to learn from the top experts, and that's why our guest Zhe Scott is one of them. And that this is just a teaser. You will get a lot more on a conference. So check that out. More clients and revenue.com. Zhe Scott, as we are about to wrap up, I like to ask this question to a guest, every guest, to get a feedback on the program, on your guest experience. And I ask a question like this: what would you say to your best friend about a Growth Hacking Secrets show when I'm not there?
I would say that I am super impressed with Mohammed Siddique. He is so gracious, so professional. Everything was completely laid on. And if you get invited to be a guest, I say completely come do it. I've had a great experience, and what a fabulous podcast host.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words. What would you say as a final word?
My final words is I want to shout out you, Mr. Mohammed Siddique. Thank you so much for having me on your show. And I also want to say shout out to all the listeners of the SEO Queen Tech Show on the Bashani Radio Network. And also shout out to all the new people who are seeing me. I hope you connect with me. Follow me on Instagram at the SEO Queen. And I look forward to hearing from you. Always feel free to DM me. I respond to all DMs.
Oh, wonderful. That's good. My last word is go on moreclientsandrevenue.com and check that out. Thank you so much, Zhe Scott, CEO of a digital marketing agency, the SEO Queen, author and podcast host, for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.